Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through my April monthly setup in my April monthly start Hobonichi Cousin. So I'm super excited to get started. Is there anything better than a new month in a new planner? I will answer that. No. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to take you guys over to the flat lay so we can see what's going on.
Okay, so to start, we're just going to be lighting a little candle to plan with a candle next to me. I think it adds a really nice touch when you're planning, just to bring in a sense of calm as you get started with the month. I got that one from, I think it was just Target. I don't really do a lot here with the yearly overview section at the beginning of the month. That's more of a daily thing. Go ahead and check out my planner setup for my Hobonichi planner setup, which is my previous video if you want to know how I'm using all of these various sections. But right now I am setting up my inbox, so you can see I have an April inbox here where I am just transferring over some things to do in April from my current inbox, which sort of travels around the planner with me on my pencil board on a sticky note. So I'm splitting it into a couple of sections here because I have a few big projects coming up in April, and you can see that I'm just transferring over what I need to do still in April, and on the sticky note I'll cross it off or put a little check mark if I've done it, or otherwise note that it's no longer relevant. And then once I am done, I'm going to just take that sticky note off and throw it away. It doesn't really do much for me after the fact. It's meant to be a temporary object. And that April inbox, I'm going to then stick to the dashboard or the pencil board and take it with me for the rest of the time that it's in use. So the sticky notes fill up kind of fast for me. It just depends on the week. Like occasionally I'll be using it for notes, for example, that I need to process later, and it fills up really fast, or something like that. Usually I will be putting stuff on the monthly sticky note if I know that it's due on that month, but if not, I will just put it on my traveling sticky note, the one that sort of sits on the dashboard here. So I'm also removing the other items on this dashboard that I typically use. So what I'm setting up now is a habit tracker. I typically create these habits just on a weekly basis. I don't really think of them as very precious. Right now I'm just setting up a few planner habits that I'd like to maintain throughout the week. And honestly, if I don't get to these, it's really not the biggest deal in the world. I'm not a very good habit tracker, so I never set up habits that are longer than a week because I'm really just doing what I need to support my week here. So I'm actually spending a little more time on this sticky note than I normally do for the camera, which I think is kind of funny. But I'm just going to go ahead in here and write the habits that I think will best support my week, and sort of set it back up on the dashboard like I had it before. By the way, I did get some comments on my last video on the setup. I've watched a ton of planner videos, but I'm actually pretty new to creating videos myself. So when I was setting up this video, and the last one, I honestly just set up my desk mostly as I already have it, with journals all over. You can see my glasses are in there. Definitely a cup of coffee, a candle here and there. Looks kind of nice in the shot, but I know that this does also kind of make it hard to see what I'm writing on the planner. So if you guys are more interested in close-up shots, let me know in the comments and I can try to adjust my planner setup so that it's a little bit closer to the camera. I also turn my planner. I know some of us who write in planners, you probably know the struggle if you are creating planner videos in the space. Comment down below with your biggest struggle creating planner videos if that's something you do. I'm so curious what other creators go through, but I think mine is keeping my planner straight in the frame, because I turn my planner like 90 degrees, or any paper that I write on, I turn it like 90 degrees when I write, so it's super hard to keep the planner in the frame. What I'm cutting up now is my weekly budget thing. I don't know. It just kind of carries with me. I tape it to that dashboard as well, and every week I will record my purchases, and then you can see I'm reserving one for the dashboard, and then I'm putting the rest of the ones that I've cut up for the rest of the month in the back of my planner. So when I set up new weeks, I can just grab those really quickly. And that will all get processed at the end of the month in my monthly budget, which I have at the back of my Hobonichi, actually covering the pages that are like in Japanese and stuff. So if you'd like to see a budgeting video and how I do that, let me know. I'd love to create one, although I'm super new to the budgeting space, so it is kind of a new process. So I can't necessarily speak for it yet, but I'm trying something. So you can see I've just written in my weekly spending priorities, which I have an eye appointment this week. So I've got to go see the eye doctor. So that's going to be a big spender. I've got a birthday present I need to buy for a friend, etc., etc. Right now I'm setting up the monthly spread. I don't really do a ton in this monthly spread, and I will flip back in a second to show you why, but essentially I just block out the really big things, so events like holidays, birthdays, or trips. As I'm setting up this spread right now, I'm not even filling in properly everything that I have in April, just because there's some dates that I still need to check on, and I'm just like waiting for replies and stuff. And to be honest, I forgot one of my friend's birthdays here. I'm so sorry, April, if you're watching, but I forgot her birthday because I was just so nervous about doing it for the first time on camera, which is really funny. But yeah, so you can see that these sticky notes actually have the names of movies and TV shows on them, which I will eventually put into a spread. Like I flipped really quickly to my February spread. So I usually just print them out and paste them into the journal, kind of like as a memory keeping tool for the stuff that I read or watched that month, which I think is pretty fun because I never use the monthly pages. And so I think it's a pretty fun way to reflect. Here I'm just setting up my weekly page. So this is the first week of the month that is in the planner. I'm just writing in my sort of non-negotiable tasks first. So I always set up that bottom line with my bedtime in mind. So I usually go to bed at 9 p.m. on weekdays, and then on weekends I'll go to bed at like 10:30. So Friday and Saturday, you can see that I blocked off at like 10:30 is the bedtime. It's not a neat line across, but it is what works for me and keeps me from feeling pressured to go to bed at the same time every week, even though I have a later bedtime on Fridays and Saturdays because I'm usually doing things or watching movies or hanging out with friends or with my partner. So unfortunately here I do make a mistake. So I put work in on Friday, but I'm actually going to be traveling on Friday. So I just cross it out. It's a little frustrating when you make mistakes in your planner, right? I usually just cover it with a sticker. So you're going to see me cover it with a sticker in a second, but it happens. You kind of got to roll with it. And sometimes it makes the spread not as like pretty as you want it to be, but it does just add character, I think, to your planner, or at least that's how I try to look at it, because sometimes when you're flipping back, if you don't cover it properly, it can be kind of confusing. But yeah, it's just an excuse to experiment a little bit here and there. Right now I am just writing in some blocks. So I'm actually filming this on that Monday there in preparation to sort of release this video this weekend, but you can see that I'm filling out how my Monday went, and I'm sort of creating these little bracketed blocks around time slots in my day that are sort of I commonly do stuff in. So you can see I'm writing in my commute to and from work on Tuesday and Wednesday when I'm in the office this week. And I'm writing in appointments, and I'm writing in a few other meetings and things that I have had. But these empty blocks, I typically will draw in a few empty blocks per week that I can just fill with whatever needs to be done at that moment. So for example, if I'm working on a big project, like right now I have my capstone project for my degree. By the way, I'm getting a master's degree. I'm so close to being finished. If anyone else is pursuing higher education right now, whether that's college, master's degree, whatever, drop like a book emoji. Let's say a book emoji or a pencil emoji, your favorite school emoji below, and tell me how it's going, because I'm so close to done and I'm definitely rooting for anyone else who's in that situation right now. Yeah, so I'm just planning out some of these blocks, and in some of them I will work on my capstone project or homework, or I will work on other projects that I have going on, or I'll film a YouTube video, for example, or I'll just do sort of whatever needs to be done at that moment, whether that's chores or project work. I really like to mood track at the top of my planner in the weekly section, which I totally stole from Coffee Monsters Co. You can see I'm using her little mood tracking stickers right there. I really like the way that it looks, and it makes me feel sort of like I've seen myself, if that makes sense. When you mood track in a journal in that such a visual way, I really feel like I've shown up for myself and sort of declared how I was feeling, which is just a great way to observe your feelings when you're journaling, because sometimes you can set up all these beautiful plans and your life just kind of decides, not today, not today. We're not going to make it a beautiful day today. We're just going to have a bad one. And so sometimes putting down a little frowny face emoji or a crying emoji or a stressed out emoji or even a happy emoji is like a really good way to acknowledge how the day has been. You know what I mean? Just to say, you know what, this is how I felt. It's over now. I'm putting down the sticker. That's it. So I really like doing that. I found that really, really fun. You can see I've just added sort of the bedtime line to the rest of the pages in the month, but other than that, I'm leaving it pretty blank. I really enjoy setting up these weekly spreads on a weekly basis. So I'll be doing more of these. If you stick around on my channel, please come by. You can see this huge binder is actually my sticker organization. It's really messy and really massive. This has almost all the stickers that I have, and it has a lot of the ephemera I have and things cut out of magazines and stuff like that. So let me know if you want a sticker organization tour. I'll probably do one at some point if you want to stick around. But those aren't the stickers I typically pull out for everyday planning. I mostly pull out that binder if I'm doing collaging in one of my other journals, but I do like to have it around so that when I need to fix mistakes or something, I can just paste something else in. You can see that in a second here. I'll pull out, yep, there she is, one of my girl stickers. I bought like 100 pack off of Etsy. Has anybody ever done this where you are like, I'm obsessed with this type of sticker. I'm going to buy 100 of them or something like that. So I have so many girls. I have so many girl stickers that I'm just trying to find innovative ways to use them. So you can see I'm trying to use her here to cover up that mistake of accidentally writing work in on my day off. I end up opting for this girl sticker who I think she matches the pink a little better. So I end up using her, and it's kind of vacation-y, so I kind of like the vibe. And now I'm just going over to the monthly page here. This is the dashboard page, which I use for a lot of different things. This month I decided I would use it for some tarot spreads and sort of, I guess you could call it like affirmation journaling. I really didn't have a specific idea of what I wanted this spread to look like when I went into it. I just kind of went, and that's what I really like doing with the monthly pages. So I'm pulling cards right now from the Sacred Self-Care Oracle deck, which is made by, I think, the same woman who runs Goddess Provisions. I believe this was featured in one of their boxes. I don't subscribe, but I really like this deck. It's very actionable. And you can see I'm just spreading out the cards here and sort of feeling my way around them with my fingers and finding the one or ones that magnetically pull to me. And you can see that the card that magnetically pulled to me this time around was the journal card, which I think is so fitting and so funny for this being sort of a video about how I use my journal. I just think it's really, really cute. So I end up going into the guidebook, which has affirmations for each individual card, and I find the affirmation for this, and I think it is good enough to write into my journal. So what I end up doing is I end up writing the affirmation in, and I'm really going to try to let this guide me. One of the things that I fell off of doing in my last Hobonichi, which was just a regular yearly Hobonichi that I sort of ended up using through March, I fell off journaling the last couple of days. I'm usually really good at it and it keeps me sane. Truly, anyone out there who journals a lot will know that it keeps you sane. So I really want to tap into that abundant wisdom that resides within me this month. And anytime I'm feeling stressed or worried or happy, or I just want to remember something, I think I'm going to go in and really try and journal it out on those daily pages because I really need it. Yeah, I really need it. I have a bunch of other journals too, like you can see 2 of them in the top right corner of the screen that I write in for different reasons as well. And now I'm showing you the page again, but you can see the lighting has changed because I had to come back later and film this because I needed to print out that little sticker with the Canon printer that's right there. But to finish out this spread, I'm going to be going ahead and pulling some more tarot cards. You saw... There we go. There, I have the right deck there. I pulled the wrong deck for a second, but now I'm just using the basic sort of Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and it's a bit smaller, a bit easier to shuffle, so I'm going to be pulling some additional cards to support me throughout the month. And I think the question I'm asking here is, what is that wisdom? What is that wisdom that is residing within me? How can I access it? Just sort of using the Oracle card to prompt this tarot spread, and I end up pulling the 5 of Swords, the 2 of Wands, and the 4 of Wands. So a lot of active energy in this spread, which I think is really fun, especially paired with a journaling card, which I think of as more of a passive activity, a reflective activity. So how do these 2 things pair together? Well, I'm going to write sort of a little blurb here about what I think these tarot cards, the message of them is, and you'll see I'm using the tarot card stickers that I have over on the left. They're really small, really handy. I bought them from a seller on Etsy. I think if you just search tarot card stickers, they're like one of the first ones that come up. I think they also have a printable option if you want to print them at home, but I love these little stickers. They come in so handy. I really struggled with this 5 of Swords. I really did not know what it was trying to tell me, but eventually you can see as I start to write, I really start to put all the cards together and get a good idea that what the spread is trying to tell me is to sort of try and journal as a reflective process. What you're always trying to get to if the 4 of Swords appears or the 4 of Wands appears in your reading is usually that's what you're trying to get to. The fact that I pulled it last also says that it's like totally in my future, which I think is really great. I think the 4 of Wands is just a pure happiness card, and I'm doing a lot of projects with my partner right now, so it feels super, super relevant to me. Anyways, so I sort of decorate the spread loosely by drawing a rectangle around the cards and some lines around the little blurb that I wrote, and you'll see me decorate it some more. And to be quite honest, I'm not super into the way that I decorated this page, and I feel like I make a lot of mistakes that I probably wouldn't make if I was planning this out a little bit better. But the point for me of these spreads is not really to plan them out, it's to kind of go with where your creative juices go. And sometimes that means that I will write a word and then really hate it and want to cover it up with something else, as you're going to see me do here. And that's okay. And even what I cover it up with, I don't really like that much as I'm making this spread. But when I go back and look at this page now, what I really see is a sort of creative, endeavor that I'm embarking on, which I think is good for if you're doing any kind of journaling. Just don't be afraid to make mistakes, and don't be afraid to try stuff, cover stuff up. When you add to a page, you're just adding to your own experience of creativity, and I think that it's really helpful to not feel so intensely about setting it up perfectly, even though I know that's what we all see on YouTube and Instagram is sort of the perfect spreads. But yeah, I'm just trying not to be too precious with it. So you can see I've written what I think is the message of these cards: the try, reflect, repeat. Just getting invested in projects and invested in how I feel about the projects that I'm doing. I'm sort of drawing a couple little stars here and there around this, just to make it feel a little more sparkly, I guess. And at the end of this, I'll also write on that pink stripe there, I'll also write monthly like a place to reflect on whether or not this stuck with me through the month. Yeah, review. So whether or not this stuck with me through the month and how I felt about it. When I turn the page here to show you sort of how I'm using that first page, I do end up making a little mistake there, so review wasn't completely dry. But again, I'm just going to cover it up with a sticker, a piece of washi tape, and I'll probably do some more collaging on that page eventually.
Alright guys, that was my April setup. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you thought or if you have any questions. And here is my last video if you want to keep on watching. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.